What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all having a fantastic day. So, after months of patiently waiting after SoFi announced that they would eventually be going public, the day has finally arrived, and SoFi stock is officially available for purchase on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. And as someone who talks about SoFi more than pretty much anyone else here on YouTube, it seemed only appropriate that I talk about this really exciting news. So today let's break down how all of this came about, my investing plan when it comes to SoFi, and the potential ways that you can invest in this company that I feel has a ton of potential moving forward. And at the end of the video, I will also be putting my money where my mouth is and investing $1,000 of my own money in SoFi stock. All right, let's jump right into it. So before we break down everything going on with SoFi stock, there are two quick things that I want to cover. First of all, I know we're probably well past it at this point because I filmed these videos pretty far in advance, and it's sometimes hard to estimate this sort of thing, but I do just want to take a moment to thank all of you since we recently just hit 10,000 subscribers on this channel, and I know that's not a huge milestone in the grand scheme of things in YouTube, but to me, that is more than I ever thought I would accomplish here on YouTube, and seriously, I am so grateful for every single one of you. Sitting here at my studio and helping all of you hopefully learn something about your personal finances is more important to me than I could ever describe. And the fact that I get to make a living doing this is just unbelievable and really hard for me to actually comprehend. So I know people say this kind of thing all the time, but seriously, yes, I'm talking to you right now. I am so grateful for you, and regardless of whether you've been with me since the beginning or you are just stumbling upon my channel, I just wanted to take a moment and say that I am so grateful. And also, while this is very exciting, we are just getting started. And as you may have noticed, to celebrate this 10,000 subscriber milestone and in an effort to always be reinvesting back into the channel, we now have a new camera. And yes, it moves, and I think it's pretty cool. Alright, and the second thing that is much more on the topic of today's video is obviously we're going to be specifically taking a look at SoFi stock. And I do feel that I need to say from the onset that while I may be discussing my personal opinions and investing plans when it comes to SoFi stock, this is not investing advice, and it's just for entertainment purposes, and you can take this information and do with it what you want. So since we are talking about a very specific investment today, I just wanted to put that out there and remind you that you should never invest in something or not invest in something just because someone else told you to do that. Always do your own research, invest in what you want to invest in, and have confidence in making those decisions on your own. Alright, so with all of that out of the way, what in the world is going on with SoFi? How did we get to this point, and more importantly, should you invest in it, which is probably the question that most of you are wondering. So I talked about this a few months ago in my SoFi update video, but to give you a really quick overview of how we got here, SoFi recently went public via what's called an SPAC merger, which basically just means that they partnered up with an investment firm who helped them get to this IPO on the stock market. And there have been rumors and chatter about this potentially happening for a long time, but finally on May 27th, 2021, the shareholders approved the merger, and just a few days later, on June 1st, 2021, SoFi officially went public on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange under ticker symbol SoFi. Now, whether you care about investing in SoFi or not, this is actually a really big deal, not just for SoFi, but for the entire fintech industry as a whole. You've probably heard me say a million times that I personally feel that fintech companies like SoFi, Chime, and Varo, just to name a few, will eventually become the majority in the industry when it comes to consumer banking services. And what I mean by that is I personally believe that companies like Wells Fargo and Bank of America have lost a huge market share to those smaller financial technology companies, and I believe that that problem will only get much worse for them in the future. And while companies like SoFi certainly have a long way to go if they're going to catch up to the massive banking giants that have been around for centuries, this is certainly a huge step in the right direction, and as the public sentiment continues to turn away from the traditional banking model, it is very likely that the investing dollars of those individuals will follow. Now, obviously, I know that a company like SoFi is not going to magically surpass Wells Fargo or Chase overnight, but the fact that retail investors and even institutional investors are now able to take part in the growth of this fintech company and other fintech companies like it who follow in suit, that means that they are going to have even more money to hopefully reinvest back into the business and continue to create a better product and better their features that incentivize more individuals to ditch their old national bank and step into the modern world of mobile banking. And for the most part, that's typically why companies like this go public in the first place. Now, a lot of times there might also be pressure from venture capitalists who might be looking to exit their position in early investment, and an IPO is a fantastic way to do that. But 9 times out of 10, a company goes public for the sole reason of wanting to raise money for the company. Now, there are definitely some risks associated with going public, and IPOs are notorious for being a little bit rocky. But in my opinion, the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages, and SoFi definitely falls into that category. Now, on that note, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what has been going on with SoFi stock since they went public. Should you even bother investing in them? And if so, where can you actually buy SoFi stock? Well, showing you short-term stock data is kind of pointless because I filmed these videos so far in advance, but to give you an idea of what's been going on, after going public nearly a week ago, SoFi was up nearly 18% before beginning to decline and is now back basically exactly where it started. Like I mentioned earlier, IPOs can be a little bit rocky since it's tough to estimate the price that a particular company should go public at. Oftentimes what happens with IPOs is you have short sellers, meaning people who are betting that the stock is going to go down, and what happens is when more short sellers come to the table, the price gets pushed down, but eventually they will take their profits, and when that happens, things should start to settle out, and hopefully the price will once again start to rise, and based on what I'm seeing so far in this stock chart, that does seem like that's what's going on. Alright, so enough about all of that. Let's answer the question that all of you are probably wondering: should you invest in SoFi? Well, this probably doesn't come as a surprise, but it is not my place or anyone else's place to tell you what to do with your money. If you want to invest in SoFi, cool. If you think it's the dumbest thing in the world, cool. The important thing is that you have an opinion about it and you're making that decision on your own. So while I am not going to tell you what to do with your money, I will tell you that, not surprisingly, I do believe in this company a lot, and I see so much potential for it and its stock in the future. So as promised at the beginning of the video, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and invest $1,000 of my own money in SoFi stock right now. Now, I get that $1,000 isn't anything insane, but this is a good place to get started for me, and once the IPO volatility works its way out of this stock, I'll likely add to this position for the future. So you can buy SoFi from pretty much any broker, but it does seem only appropriate to buy SoFi stock via the SoFi Invest app. So if you launch the SoFi app, go to the Investing tab and click on the search icon and type in SoFi, you can see the stock chart, and then I'm going to click buy at the bottom of the screen, type in how many shares or the dollar value that I would like to invest, and like I said earlier, I'll be investing $1,000 today of my own money. So then you go ahead and place your order, and there we go. We just bought $1,000 worth of SoFi stock, and once that IPO volatility works its way out, this might be something that I set up as a recurring investment. So again, just because this is something that I am doing does not mean that it's something that you should necessarily be doing. But regardless, I would love to hear what you think of SoFi going public on the stock market down in the comment section below, and whether or not you plan on investing in this stock and why. Honestly, whether you care about SoFi or not, this is a huge step forward for anyone who uses pretty much any mobile banking platform, because the fact that a financial technology company like SoFi can now take on public investors means that they will only continue to grow and eat away at the market share of those large national banking corporations. And if you ask me, that is long overdue. As always, if you did get value out of this content and you want to help support me, it would mean a lot to me if you would hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who you think would get value out of this content as well. And as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it so much. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.